Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Broadchurch. Last time around, there was a bunch of sus people. I guess when is that not a recap of an episode of Broadchurch? Yeah, there was the ex-husband of Trish. He was okay, honestly. Like, it wasn't like until the end when he was like, I don't want to give a DNA sample to the police. That was kind of it, really. There was the sus cab driver. There was Jim Atwood being sus. There was the sus little shit that ran the like fishing accessories shop. That was weird. Like, he was all like, maybe I don't want to cooperate with the police, and it's like, okay, what? Why are you making yourself so suspicious to the police? Like, it's just cooperate. Whatever. It's an ongoing investigation. Who cares? I don't know. There's some trouble with Hardy and Miller about pushing Trish to do stuff like the interview. Beth had her meeting with Trish. Mark is still angry because of everything that happened, in the previous seasons. And Trish was a little sus. I guess you could say she was a little sus, where during the interview she said that she had sex that same morning, but she wouldn't say who with. So there's that. And then at the end she got a text message just saying stop or else. So yeah. That is pretty much it. I don't know. For some reason, like, I'm having a little trouble with remembering last episode. I don't know why. But yeah. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into this episode of Broadchurch, where all will be revealed again. I'm trying to move so there's not too much of a reflection in my glasses, but no such luck. Let's get going. I mean, I don't know. Oh man. I don't know. Okay. Let's try to rule some people out. The initial person I had ruled out was Ian. I guess we can no longer rule him out, because while he may have blacked out, it could have been that in his drunken state he could have done it. I don't think it's Ed. Genuinely, I don't think it's Ed. Because even with everything they talked about, I couldn't see that being the case, I just don't feel like there's... I don't know. I mean, it still could be, but I don't think it is. There's Lucas. He's really sus. He's really sus. He would have Trish's phone number. He knows where Trish lives. That's another thing, That's another thing you have to count in, is where do they know... The person has to know where she lives, I think, So he would know. But it's too early. It's too early. Too early. It's like when you watch... It's like when you watch a U.S. election, and I guess any election probably, but whenever I friggin' love when the news channels during the election are like, yes, well, Arizona just closed their polls, so it's too early to tell, but we're calling this person. It's like, you just said it's too early to tell. You haven't counted shit. You can't say that it's too early to call. That's literally the phrase. Well, it's too early to call, but we're going to call it anyway. Anywho, that's just a quick tangent about the U.S. News system, I guess. But it's too early to call, and I mean it's exactly what Miller said. It's like this is only the list of suspects is only growing. It's not shrinking, So I feel like the strongest lead they have is on Lucas, you know? I don't think it was Jim, you know? I don't think it was Jim Atwood, but... And especially, too, I could see a parallel between Jim and Mark from season 1, you know? I could see somewhat of a parallel there, you know? I mean, I feel like he's acting a bit more sus than Mark, you know? Because Mark... Well, I don't know. I mean, because now we look at it as like, well, we know that Mark didn't do it, and we can look at that and be like, this is a grieving father, you know? But, I mean, even in the earlier episodes of season 1, a lot of those breakdowns Mark had were just so genuine, and Jim does not have that. But he also doesn't have the same connection to the victim that Mark had with Danny, you know? It was his son. Man, I kind of feel bad for Lucas's wife. Lucas, Clive, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Just the fact that it's like, oh yeah, he can cheat. Well, that's his mistake to make. I made a vow, you know, and I intend to keep it. It's like, oh no, leave his ass. And then the fact that their son is Tom's friend, and they're, that's the thing, is that Lucas, or Clive, he's the stepdad, because it was a child from someone before that, you know? So his stepdad's being more of a dick than normal. Man, okay, because we didn't have anything with Maggie, or... I mean, we did have Paul in this episode, but he didn't, you know... Like, we didn't have more of his, you know... His whole thing of like, oh, you know, nobody's coming to church, you know? So we didn't have that. Instead, the two things that we have from previous seasons are... The two character things we have from previous season characters. Mark, who, you know, it's one of those things that's like, man, we have a whole other thing going on, but we can't ignore Mark and this whole thing. It's like, yeah, of course Mark is going through this. You understand why, you know? The other one is Tom, who is so desperate. Like, dude, just go. You have a phone. You have a phone, which was that his... I guess that had to have been his phone. But it's like, dude, you have one of the magic rectangles. All you have to do is a Google search. You will find a lot of things, okay? Don't... Why show it to your buddy? Why, like, really be like, oh yeah, you gotta watch the new stuff, man? Why? Because, and especially too, it's like, who wants to watch porn with another person? It's weird. I just want Paul to walk over and beat their asses in a godly way, you know. You know, I think if you hit them with a Bible, I think the Lord's gonna be okay with that, you know. Just why would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would you steal it back? Like, how horny are you that you have to do this? No boy is that horny. And boys are horny. Not that horny. Just look up, just go look up some anime titties or something. I don't know, dude. You don't even need to watch it. You don't even need to Google anything. I'm sure you're already watching stuff. It like that. You know what? I'm having my Alec Hardy moment where he's talking about, you know, I just don't understand the psychology, you know? I don't understand the psychology of someone who would purposefully watch porn with their friend and deal them porn and go out of their way to be like, dude, I gotta show you this porn, dude. I don't understand the psychology there. Ugh. And I cannot keep talking about that. I cannot keep talking about that. It is not worth talking about. The other part is Mark. Mark wants to get a civil suit to, which that still would be difficult, but I definitely, it's a tricky thing, because I get, you understand why Mark still fights for this, you know? And then whenever that man starts crying, I start to tear up. I cannot deal with that man crying, you know? But I also can't deal with Beth being mad, you know? And yeah, it's true that it's like, look, it's over. Unfortunately, it is over, and they lost the trial, you know? They lost the trial, and they have to move on, and he has 2 daughters. He has Chloe, and he has Lizzie, you know? He needs... It's difficult. No one said it would be easy. For Beth, it's still not easy, you know? But you can't go after Joe anymore. It's over. And yeah, part of a civil suit is you have to go and serve them the suit, you know? And you can't do that if you can't find Joe Miller, because he's gone and his name is changed, you know? Now I say that, I don't know why I just thought, it's like, oh, he changed his name, nobody can find him. I mean, I'm sure Mike Ehrmantraut could, but we're not in Better Call Saul. Like yeah, if Saul Goodman walked in, but see, if Saul Goodman was defending the Latimers, he would have fucking won. He would have won. It wouldn't have been... But see, that's the problem. That's the problem is Saul Goodman defended Joe Miller, because that was Sharon, you know? But yeah, the rest of the stuff... Ian, I don't know. See, again, I don't think it would be... Okay, unless the person who raped Trish and the person sending her the text messages are not the same person, you know? Because what rapist sends flowers, you know? But then again, why did Lee Ashworth come back? Someone pointed that out in the comments. Why did Lee Ashworth come back and reopen the investigation when he is one of the murderers in the investigation? Because he killed Pippa. Why would you do that? Just go live in France. Who cares? It's better than England anyway. It looks better. So, I don't know. Why would the rapist be sending flowers? I mean, it's the looming question of the person who raped her. Did they send the text messages now? Now we have to... Because, yeah, it's the same thing. It's what Hardy said. It's like, what does this accomplish? You know, stop what? So, there's that. And, yeah, Lucas is looking pretty sus, but I don't know. But, see, the thing is, he's looking too sus, you know? It's the same thing in Season 1, where it's like, you know, even if there are leads, even if you have Mark, even if you have Jack Marshall, even if you have... Nigel Carter, it's like, but it ended up being Joe, you know? So here it's like, well, we have Ed, we have Lucas, we have Jim, we have Ian. May not be any of them. Could be Joe Miller for all we know. That would be some shit if Joe Miller came back, raped her, and left, and then they have to get him on that. I don't know. Lucas definitely seems the most sus, but maybe, it feels like it's too sus, you know. Like I'm thinking like a writer now. I'm thinking like a writer instead of as you know, like who could it be? It's like I have to like think about this like a writer. Like no, because with all of this sus stuff, it can't just be him because that's too much. It was the same thing when it's like you know when Nige was seeming way too sus, you know. Where it's like, oh man, we seem to be getting a lot of him. It's like, is this giving away the game? And it's like, no, because it was Joe. It made you think. Made you think for a little while. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. So, yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Broadchurch reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.